Right, let's see how we go with this. Welcome to the lockdown workshop. Oh, you don't want to see that. Right, we are in the new workshop. It's not quite set up yet. This was a bit of an emergency one we need to do, so we'll see how we get on with it. It is very hot. It's about 32 degrees. I'll just give you a quick walk around. So the shop cart's up here, big wardrobe's up here. I'm on the Canon, so that's about as wide angle as I can go in here. You see most of the familiar stuff's up here. Another cabinet over there, parts washer, all the detritus, the same stand, pillar drill. We fetched up the yellow tool case, slightly been reorganised. The compressor's tucked away down the side of there now. We've still got the same bench that you will know and love from the other videos. Put in a bit of new storage. Sorry about the glare from the window. It is frosted, but it's still you're still getting something through there. Let me move over, get you a cut. Like I said, we've got the tool chest. We're nearly there. We've still got a lot of stuff in boxes there, so that lot's still got to be sorted out. This is pretty much the part, the fluids cupboard. So we've got all sorts in there, paint, thinners, oils, whatever. This is the tools cupboard. Probably going to do away with those boxes. They don't add anything to it. So I've got some trays that we picked up from the Outlaw Iron Man last weekend. I know, only I could go to an Outlaw Iron Man event and pick up stuff like that. Anyway, let's get back to today's event. So what we've got for excitement today, we have got it's a 27.5 mountain bike wheel. So this was the bike we did the hold on, let me spin the thing around so I can see what I'm doing. Come on, turn around, there we go. Just make sure you're in shot then. This is the wheel off the mountain bike we did a few weeks ago, the one where we were bleeding the brakes, and then had to go back and re-bleed them because there was no ring missing that I thought that was missing. So when I noticed it at the time, I said we'd pick it up in the winter. Let's see if we can get you to turn up slightly. Oh, that's a big stretch. Right. So just listen to this. Yeah, that's not good. So we're going to get the freewheel off and just have a look at that. So I'll need to get the cassette off first. So we'll just dump this. I could do with a parts bucket to put all this stuff in, so we don't lose anything. Trusty box of bearings there. Right, so this is some of the stuff we've had to bring back. So my original plan was to have most of the bike mechanic stuff down in the other workshop. But then when I started to realise what that meant was things like brake bleeding, I'm not going to do down there because it's bloody messy. It needs to be done up here. And then when I started thinking about it, stuff like this I'm going to be doing up here. I've got 2 sets of these tools anyway, so the main set, the better tools, can be up here because this is where I'm going to be doing most of the work. The other work down in the other shop's going to be more temporary stuff. So I have brought some stuff back up. I've brought the brake bleeding kit back up. Let's get you back over here. Alright, so we've got the bearing press kit. That can go back in there. We have got one of those, specialist screwdriver for tuning carburetors. We decided we needed that up here. That ought to go in the parts bucket really. Chain whip. That's a screwdriver I stole out of there. Bottom bracket for the movers. Another one of them. One of them. yeah, frame tube cutting. I'm only going to be doing that in here. There's some other bits and bobs. That's the one I'm looking for. I need that. The chain whip. I can live without a load of other stuff at the moment, but we'll just put some stuff in there. Some cloths, because we're going to need them. You get my gist. There's a lot of stuff. So it's all going to go in there. We'll finish sorting through that in a bit. But we found what we needed. I'll put these back in the fluids cupboard. And those kits can go in there as well, because I did take them out of them and take them down, and then realised that was a really stupid idea. Right, anyway, let's get back onto this. Should be about, I think. Where are you? Yeah, you're there now. Let's just move you around a bit. Right, so we're just going to pop this off. That's filthy, that needs to go in the parts washer. But the parts washer's not been commissioned yet, so it might just get a whiz down with some solution. Flipping heck. That was more than 40 Newton meters. That was well in excess of gut and tight. Right. Don't make me look at you. Oh, it's one of them, is it? Right, so that's well ropey. Crunchy, crunchy. Alright, so fortunately I fetched up the spanners. Nope, not a 19. We'll get there eventually. It's a 17. Right, so that's got that one sussed. And what's that one on that side? That's a 17. So we need a 17 socket. Oh, the 17 socket's dead on that rail. Go and get one of the good sockets out. Come on, stop being awkward. Can't get into there. The nuts are locked together, so it's very hard to get them off. There's probably one under this rubber seal here that I could get to. Kind of hoping they just break free. Sometimes when you crank on them from both sides, they tend to give up and just come off, but not today, Josephine. That's it. Right. Oh, right, good. We can get something in there. I suspect that wants a 16. Nope, less than a 16. Not going to be a 14, is it? Nope. 15. 15. Let's go for 15. My money's on 15. There you go. That's it. Right. So stack them up in the opposite way they come off, and then you'll always be good. Cup and cone, so I'm expecting explosion and ball bearings all over the place. We've got, how many have we got? We've got one out there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. 9. Alright, now I need my magic magnet. I thought I had a magic magnet, we'll have to take this one instead. Easiest way to remove ball bearings. Are they all out? They're all out. Right, let's go after these now. Should be the same on this side, should be the same ball bearings. Just rustier. Oh, that sounds rough. Right then. All we're going to do now is work out how to get that out. The challenge. God, that feels rough in there. Right, now what I'm looking for is usually they have some kind of an Allen key on the back of these that you can get out. So, and then it's just a case of working out which way to twirl it. It's not that size, that's for certain. Need something bigger. Have we got anything bigger? That's the same size as the one we've just done. Yep, need something bigger. Oh, something bigger. That one's too big. Oh, what from that side? Nope. Right. In that case, if you can't get it out, there must be a retaining clip somewhere. I'm still not convinced I can't get that out. What have we got that's bigger than that? Alright, let's have a look. I think I'm going to have to go down and have a look at the other toolbox. I think I do have one. That's whether or not. Which side it would have to come to get to it. surprised that one's not big enough. It's too big that way. Right, yeah, I'll have to break off here and just nip down to the other workshop and go and retrieve something. Back shortly. Have we got a red flashing light? I can't see. Let's bring you back so I can see what's going on. Yeah, we've got a red flashing light. Oh, but we're upside down. That's better. Right. I wandered down to the other workshop and I found my tray of bits and not one of them fit. There is something in there, it looks like a Torx bit, and I've shined a light in while you were away. Let's just move some of this gubbins out of the way that we don't need. So I started thinking, I thought, right, well, I have done these before on axle rims, and there was a circlip underneath the seal. So let's just pop the seal out and see what we can see. Ah, right, I know what it is now. Got one of them somewhere. Right, it's a freewheel remover, but it also it's designed for removing freewheels off freewheels, not free hubs. So this tool happens to fit in there. So you've got to get the cup out. The only thing I can't remember is it clockwise or anti-clockwise? So I would be inclined to think that it's anti-clockwise to wind it out. So let me get a big spanner. The redneck micrometer on it, and we'll see if we can get it to budge. If this becomes problematic, what you can do is you can put that one through on the other side with a washer on it so it doesn't damage the the bearing seats, and just apply a little bit of pressure. Can you see that? You can't see this. So you do get with this kit, with this particular one, you get that, which effectively keeps that in position. I have to reposition you a bit. Trouble is you zoomed in. Our Musty never has this problem. That better? Yes. That's slap bang in the middle of the shop now. Right, so let's see if this is clockwise or anti-clockwise. No, doesn't want to go that way. Let's see if it'll go that way. Only lost one finger in the spokes then. Right. Obviously now I'm winding it, I'm turning it against the pressure, but it is a reverse thread. There you go, it's dropped off. So there you go. Use a freewheel hub, a freewheel remover rather than a free hub remover. What I'll do is, if I'm tightening it up, and it's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Right, I was kind of hoping the bearings were going to be self-contained. Now I'm kind of hoping we've got the right ones here. I've already got some spares for these. I think I heard at least one escape, which I've found. The beauty of having a clean floor. I think we dodged a bullet with that one. We'll know when we pack them up anyway. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drop this down over here, just in case any more decide they want to come out and play. It could even be two sets of bearings. Right, so then you've got you should be able to see your paws, and there should be 1, 2, 3 sets of paws. And as you can see, that looks pretty rammy in there. So what I'm looking for is to see if there's permanent damage. So that's just fallen off. Do not lose that. That is a shim. You need that. Bring this back in again. So that's a shim that's exactly sized so that when you crank this down hard, it's exactly at the right tension for the bearings. And there will be a number of shims. There's the other one. I'll just clean this up. Yeah. So if I could have got to the other side, I could have unscrewed this. This will come out. But I can't get to the other side because the bearing cup on this side is stopping me. So on a normal hub where you've got pushed in bearings, I'd be able to get an Allen key into that back, and I'll put money on that one might fit too. No, I know that one definitely didn't. So what about that one? No, definitely haven't got one that fits, which is a shame. So that unit there should unscrew, and I do actually have another one of those that can go straight in. So worst case scenario with this is I unscrew that and put another one in anyway. But I think the other one runs on a fixed bearing. What we do have to do now is just have a quick look at this and just have a quick bearing recount. Ooh, loads of bearings.
Filled this up quick.
Yeah, doesn't take long.
I've always been really envious, it's just an empty space.
No, not anymore. I've been evicted from the other workshop.
Aww.
Right, micrometer. Time to measure my balls. So I just need to measure the size that these balls are. Oops. That is giving me, this is going to be 1/8. So I have got 0.5, 1, 2, 3 mil, 3.1 8, 3.18. Right, let's measure one of these. This is one of the new balls. 3.18. Right, don't need to do the conversion, they're exactly the same size. So we have a set of balls that we use for the other rebuild that we can use for this. So I'm pretty confident we can just scrap all the balls we've got in there, and it doesn't matter we scattered them to the four corners of the world, because I'll be honest, they probably need new balls anyway. You can see they're all, I don't know if you can see. Come on, focus. Yeah, they're pretty scabby. Right, I'm going to just change your battery and then we'll start putting this back together. Right, we've got the bearings, they fit. Let's just put a bit of grease in so we've got something to stick the balls to. So if you're in doubt, you can work out which is the bearing surface because it's got a round edge on it and you should be able to see that it's worn. This bearing surface doesn't look too bad, so I'm kind of hoping we're going to get a successful rebuild out of this. The last one I did was okay as well. I've still got it in the trunk. I was trying to look to see if I could reuse it, but I'm not sure we can. Right. Best thing to do is just put out a set of balls. I can't remember how many there were that you used, and I'm already chucking them all over the place because that's good. Oh, brand new ball bearing. This is proper fiddly stuff. I'd zoom you in, but I'm not sure you can see it. Don't move it in case they... So what we're going to do is we're going to stick my balls in here, and then hopefully we're going to drop this over the top of the wheel. But this will only work is if there's enough grease to keep the balls stuck in. And it's pretty warm and the grease is melting as we speak. And there is a lot of balls. What you've got to do when you put them in is get them so that they are snug. I seem to remember there's about 18 or something. Lost one, lost two. I think there's slightly less on the other one. Oops, launching balls. Now we start to get interesting now because we're almost back to the other set, and the grease is almost gone on this side here. Might just have to bite the bullet and put some more grease on. Right, we're into the more greasy bit now. Yeah, so don't worry about putting too much grease on these. I think we should better get another 2 in at least. Right, so I think that is about it. Come on. There you go, that's what we're looking for. Right, so rather than try and grease on top of that, we're now going to grease this. Move my balls out of the way, move them out of the way so I don't knock them over. You can't see that. And time to come out. So, still can't see. This is all technical stuff with camera. Right, so we're just going to put some grease around this because it's this back edge where we've got the balls now. Now I don't care if there's too much grease. It'll just squirt out. Just going to put a bit of grease down the back of the clackers as well. The paws. there wasn't much point in pulling them out, to be honest. Now don't be thinking it's a good idea to shove grease down in the gap underneath. It might quieten them down, but you'll find most people like noisy pours. You only need to port the grease on the bearing surfaces. That's the pores where they rub against the freewheel teeth, and the back of the pour where it's in the seat. Right, now then, the best way to do this is not just put your thumb with a big greasy port all over that, but it is to I'm going to have to... Right, we've got to be very careful now because we've got to get this past the pores without knocking any of the balls off. Otherwise we're going to have to start all over again. No, there goes. We've lost a load of balls. Right. Plan B then, we're going to stick the balls to that because I can't get them past the pores. There is something you can do to lock the pores in, but I'm really not a fan of that. Right. Trying to find all the balls I lost. Right. Put that back down there. Knock all these balls out. I don't want them loitering in there. So it's easier to do this when you've got the bit out of the wheel, because you can just insert it down and twist it into place and it just goes. So we're going to have to go the other way round now. So this is going to be a little bit more complicated. Right. So just smear that around so it's the grease is melting like anything. So what we've got to do is now try and stick the ball bearings in there instead. So that's much more fun. So sticking balls on the inner race is possibly one of the hardest things to do, because as soon as you tap them they push the other ones out. I haven't really seen a better way of doing it if you've got to do it this way around. Should have counted them before we went any further, to be honest. Then that way I would have known if I'd have got the right number on. Because that's the other thing, they do tend to sit slightly wide, so you might end up putting an extra bearing in. And you get the awkward ones like that that just rolled off and dropped down into the groove. And we're getting now. I have to remember to clean that brake disc, because that's going to be in a right tack in now. think we are nearly there. One more. Right. I think we might have one too many balls in there. Let me just take one out. So any other time they'd just fall out. That feels better. Right. Now we've just got to chuck the balls in there and do the same thing in there. What I might do, because it's difficult to see in there whether I've got the balls in the right place, I'm going to, because we like doing it, I'm going to stick them to the inside again, because hey, why not? This grease is absolutely melting like anything. It's probably about 33 degrees now. The temperature's actually gone up. I think we're probably going to get a thunderstorm tonight or tomorrow. Should clear the air a bit, but then I think after that we're back down to normal temperatures for the time of the year, probably mid-teens, 30 to 30 odd, well 32 to 33 degrees at this time of year. Time of the year, I haven't given you a time check, have I? Because when the videos go on isn't necessarily, you'll probably get this sometime in November, so it'll be a nice treat for you when it's freezing. It's first week in September. Well, it's actually September the 9th, 8th, 9th today. And we're throwing balls all over the place. Fortunately, the table's fairly clean at the moment. The workshop isn't, it's a bit cramped, but it's not bad. Thought it was going to be worse. It's alright for actually videoing because it forces me to be a bit more tidy. Okay, it's not going to be, nothing's going to be as as big and as luxurious as the old workshop, but the old workshop wasn't that tidy or easy to maintain. You drop something on the floor there and you've got no chance of finding it. It had been used for a woodworking shop and just about everything else, so it was it's pretty much a nightmare to get to find anything. Right, I think that's about right, because I think we've got some balls that are floating closely around the edge. So what we're going to do now is try and upend this without losing any balls. One might have dropped off, but I don't think it matters. Oh, I ain't got the shims in. That's a piss up. Mind you, we know how many balls there are now. So, on the plus side, right, where's my shims? Just clean them. Why didn't you say, oi, idiot, you've not put your shims in. I'll move that one out of the way just in case we get any more strays dropping out and I won't get it mixed up. God, there's flipping hundreds of shims in here. That first one that fell off, there was actually 2 shims there. So you've got to make sure your shims are clean, because if there's any muck in between them, they stop them from shimming at the same distance, so they don't shim correctly. That's good, it's deposited all of them sort of in the right place. I don't think that's screwing up, to be honest. Nope. Try that. Nope. Well, it's raining now. I would say we'll possibly get a storm. Nope, that's not playing ball. I can get it out. The shims, unfortunately, are not playing ball. we've got a bit of a conundrum going on here. I can't get these balls to sit where they're supposed to sit. Let me get a better poking device than that. I don't know if you can hear that, it's proper hammering it down now. Yeah, these balls have all disappeared into the gap in the middle. I'm wondering if I was supposed to put that big shim down first. Let me just extricate all these. I could do with somewhere to offload them too. So you know how many we've got to get in. So it's pretty a lot easier with this unit off the wheel. I think we've got them all out now. So I think the mistake I made there was the big shim was supposed to go in first to stop the balls from disappearing down. I think we've still got some balls in there. I can't grab it. Yay. Yeah, I think we've got a ball that's dropped down. Why do I get the feeling we're going to start this all over again? There it is. There's the roguiness. I think we dodged a bullet there. Let's put this on. That's all the bits of crap. And the two shims. Right, pack this up again. I'd like to say it's cooling down. You know, in a couple of months' time, when I'm sat in here with the heater on, I'd be begging for 30 degrees. How are you doing? Not overheating or anything? I've got a feeling this is going to be going on fast forward. I'll stick them wherever they land now. Just buy a new wheel to be easier. So this is this point I get on my rant about local bike shops, because local bike shops won't do this. They just go, "Now wheels are right off, mate. You need to buy a new one." And by the way, by the time you bought a new wheel, you might as well bought a new bike. And that's not exactly sustainable thinking. It's a great business model, but it's all fixable. You know, even this cup's a bit graunchy on the inside of it, but there's no reason why it can't be replaced. Just get a replacement cup, and you know, some places do sell them. I think that's about right. They're almost there. If I squish them all down and pat them all around, they'll probably end up in the right place. Trouble is, this is now greasy as anything. So I'm going to end up dropping it as I spin it over, I bet. Can't even hold this, it's just sliding through my fingers. Are we back? I'm not sure when it cut off. You might have missed my moment of glory. Yeah, it does bit. We flipped it in, I don't know if you saw that. And none of the balls dropped off, and then I seemed to be getting trouble to bite, and then all of a sudden it bit. That sounds alright. I'm quite impressed with that. I think we've saved that one for you, Rachel. Now, I was on a bit of an high horse for a moment. I was saying about your local bike shop wouldn't do this. They wouldn't do what I've just done, stand there for a good hour trying to fiddle ball bearings in on one where you can't get that bloody thing out in the first place, and we need to clean that before we put that back in and rescue them ball bearings there. But other than that, don't let me forget I've got to clean the disc. We've just got to get the ball bearings back in this now. So this was the one from the drive side, which it looks like somebody just... I suspect this has been for a service. I did recall Rachel saying she'd taken it for a service. It has been lovingly slathered with grease, but they didn't get to the root of the problem, which was the freewheel. So all they've actually done is just taken this out, wanged a load of grease in there, and stuffed it back in again. Which, you know, it's not the right thing to do, because that wasn't the bearing that had the problem. The bearing, as we saw, that had the problem was the freewheel bearing. I'm not convinced that these haven't got similar issues, but we will see how we go with that and see if we can just cleaning around the seal. I do need to just drop this into here and give this a quick wang across. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? Well, you might be able to. I don't really care. I just need to tighten this down a bit because no, it's not gonna let me go with it. I just wanted to try and move it down a bit, but it doesn't matter. I didn't undo it that much. Right then, these balls, I don't have any spares of these balls, so what we're going to do is we know which ones are the mucky balls. That's these here. I am just going to do a dirty little trick because I haven't got the parts washer on or the thing. I'm going to get some. I would normally zap these with brake clean, but I've got me up here. It's down at the other workshop, which I'm going to have to go and nip down for in a minute anyway. So we're just going to give them a bit of a degrease. They do look slightly worse for wear, but like I said, I don't have any spares of these. Perhaps I ought to order some, but they don't look pitted, they just look slightly off colour. So again, wang some grease in there. Oh, you last one. It's always the last one. Let's have another go. Yeah, sometimes just drop your finger in front and it's got nowhere else to go. What I do need is I need to put the part of the seal in. So the way this works is it sits up and then it provides a cup on the inside for the there's a rubber filament on the axle that sits against this. So what you do is you drop this in with a bit more grease. On the back of that. That goes in there like that and gets pushed down. And then when we drop the axle in, which I temporarily appear to have lost there, you'll see there's a rubber seal on the back of that. That sits on the inside of there. Now a top tip to keep shit out is to actually make sure you've got plenty of grease actually in that groove, because that will stop water and crap getting round it, as well as making sure you've got plenty of grease actually on the bearing surface, which is there. So we're now going to lift that up and hopefully drop that through, and it should feel lovely. Right, so if we hold this round the other way up, we can try and finagle the bearings into there without taking that rubber seal out, so they do tend to damage. So Now we're going to pack this full of grease. We're going to do the same again. Just give these balls a quick wipe. These have got lithium grease on. They look like they're fairly clean. So like I said, I don't think it was serviced that long ago, but they kind of missed actually fixing the main root cause of the problem, which was a really noisy freewheel hub bearing. Freehub bearing, not a axle bearing, which is what I suspect they were trying to fix when they lathered it in grease. Now, how did it end up like this? Now I suspect this has been pressure washed. The seals on these are worse than sealed bearings, so they will not take any kind of pressure washing whatsoever. I suspect root cause analysis for this one is exactly that. We got them all. Oh, one more. Thought we were a bit light. Come on, shift you around. Right, where's the other one? So same again with this one. This has got a metal recess, but a rubber thing down that one, but it's the same principle. If you get some grease in the channel, just helps provide a little bit of more protection. One thing I've noticed is the rubber seal has actually moved on this one, so we will get a socket. If I can find one the right size, I'll do it. Right, so the same rule applies with these. You do what's the finger tight so they nip, and what you do is you back them off a little bit, about 1/8 of a turn. Then when you crank down with the other nut, it will drive against the play in the thread and tighten it up a bit more. But you've got to make sure that you hold on to the So there's a couple of things you need to do with this. You're going to need to move over. Right, so we've got hold of that bottom thread. It was a 15 and a 16 if I remember rightly. I haven't lost them already. Here they are. So it was a 15 in there. So we need to hold that and then crank down on that one. Now I wanted to try and slacken off this side a bit. No, that's okay actually. Look about even. It's a little bit tight, so we're just going to go back and do the same thing again. We're just going to move this off slightly. What you want it so that it spins freely, but there's no feelable play in it. That's still too tight. We've got a bit of play now, so now we're going to go back the other way. This is why I hate cup and cone bearings. Yeah, I can feel the play. When I do this, I've just got to watch that the axle doesn't twist. Perfect. I think that's possibly the best one I've ever done. Right. Jobs are gonna. Just got to stick the axle back in. We're going to clean the disc up because I've got my greasy paw prints all over it. In fact, let me have a look, see if we've got. Have a clean bit. Go. Just got to clean that. Now the ultrasonic cleaner doesn't work well with grease, so I'm wondering whether I degrease it first. I don't even know if I've got any petrol up here. Petrol's a good option. What have we got? We've got some rust remover, clutch and brake cleaner. Since we've got it in the box, I can't be bothered to get that working yet. Chuck that in there. Should have some parts cleaning brushes in here, which I'm pretty sure this is. Possibly, maybe.
They wanna speak my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you laugh. Go
It's
crazy,
just stopped raining anyway.
I ain't lazy.
My monster just got absolutely drowned. I completely forgot he was out there.
All these things I've been chasing, got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget.
Dodgy Luke pedal that I've got to fix.
I'd rather read
Let's have a quick tidy up before we go any further. See me knocking your balls all over the place. You really don't want to do that. Can't cleaner, can't beat it. Yeah, it's not brake cleaner, but best thing we can do. Right. The struggle is on. Where are we? I've looked under here about 4 times and I'm still not seeing them. Oh, there's a hole in my bucket. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that lovely cleaner's just disappeared over the floor. Why didn't you tell me? Right, that can exit stage left. Oh, and my micrometer as well. Well, I suppose we've got all the grease off the bench now. Fortunately, we've got all the grease off the micrometer. Let's put some more on there. Alright. So we found out we've got a hole in this one too. I have absolutely no idea where my box of cleaning utensils is. I'm going to liberate another one. I honestly thought I'd fetch that up with it, so I am slightly confused. So, what are you looking? Yeah, normally do I'd have the parts washer for this, but as you can see it's still bedded, so that's probably a must to get that put back together. We'll clean the big one and we can get that one on first, can't we? Yeah, it's had grease lovingly slathered all over it, not for any particular reason other than to make it look like it's had a decent service. Come on LBSs, stop doing that, because it just makes it a mess for no reason. Because you smother grease over it just to make it look like you've done a job, and then the first thing that happens is it gets covered in flipping shit and wears it down. So it's not really a good idea, is it? Well, unless you're then planning on selling them a new cassette, because next time they come in it's absolutely ground to paste with all the muck. LBS, local bike shop, in case you're wondering or haven't already googled it. Must admit that's a fairly new term, not one I'd ever come across. This thinks there's been a bit of winter oil on here as well. Do not use chain wax, it is not a motorbike, it will not thank you for it. Especially a mountain bike. You do not ride your motorbikes off-road. You would not put chain wax on an off-road motorbike. Chain wax is the work of the devil. Another such commentary. Because I'll do this, and the owner probably won't even notice that I've individually cleaned each tooth. How many gears? Too many. I've got 3 showers today. I'm going to have another one. I'm absolutely minging. Look at the colour of that. There. Right, so I will put a little bit of grease on here, only to aid the bedding in and movement of these. You don't need it, to be honest, they can go on dry. It's a non-bearing surface and I can't be asked to fight for the index. So it's the same as all of these cassettes, you've just got to find the big tooth. And I can't find the big tooth, so I'm going to turn this round until I find the big tooth. There's the big tooth. There's the big tooth. And there's the big tooth. We've lost the big tooth. There's the goes. Spacer. Yep, the spacers are all right. Next one. There's the big tooth. No idea, because these are flipping SRAM and they're weird as buggeries. There's not a mark or something somewhere that says that's the big tooth. Aha. It's a funny looking hump thing. Now I know what I'm looking for. Believe it or not, I've not actually threaded that many of these. You don't get that many SRAM ones, to be honest. Right, where's that funny humpy thing? Straight in. Funny humpy bit. That's not right. Why didn't you tell me? Oops, a bit carried away there. This is where we find out one of these should have gone on at the beginning. There's a spacer at the beginning. Hopefully not. I think it's a 10 speed. That's not right. Oh, that's the uber wide one. That's the uber wide one. Oh yes. Right. You know the drill. Chain whip. Always use the chain whip, even though you know you've got the freewheel to stop it from rotating. It does not do the freewheel any good. Sit. Let's get the big boy out. Should be set to 40 because it's the only thing it ever flipping well does. Oops. No. Come on. Testing me. There we go. We got there eventually. It's the problem with them ratcheting ones. They're a bit of a a bit of a nightmare. Still noisy as anything, but it feels smoother. No, that's much better. Yeah, that feels much better. Everything feels much better. Right, we can get that on the bike. That one's done. I hope that was useful. Sorry, it's a bit of a Voyager discovery. I've not done one like that for a long time. Kind of got used to ball raced ones. What have we got coming up? We've got some luck pedals coming up. So these are my nemesis. These are absolutely non-serviceable. So we're going to have a go at servicing them. We've got some bearings on the way. I'm going to have a little experiment with this and see where we get to with it. And we've got something else. So if you bear with me, I will bring it in. Chain whip. I think we got rudely cut off the last one. So here it is. It's all back together. I've put all the bits on that I forgot to put back on. As I was saying, as we got cut off, actually that's starting to sound better already. The more it gets running, so I think we've saved that one. The axle's running buttery smooth now. I think that's all right. I think we saved this one. It was a lot worse than I thought it was. I was a bit fearful. And it is still a little bit grumbly because one of the cups has got some pitting in it, but it's had new bearings in it, so we'll see if the grease helps at any. probably outsee the life of the bike, and it also means if she decides to sell it, which she was on about selling it, you know it's good. There is a little bit of play there. We could have taken out one of the shims, but I don't like doing that because those shims have been put in for a reason. Sorry about that, the video ran out. I was showing you some stuff. So we've got this Look pedal to have a go at. These are an absolute nightmare because they're non-serviceable, unlike Shimano. And we've got this beauty as well. That's absolutely filthy and it's now covered in water because it was sat outside in the rain. It's a 2 horsepower, it's a, I don't know what horsepower, it's a 2-stroke little clip-on boat engine-y thing. Not sure how old it is, don't know anything about it other than a friend of mine's dropped it off and asked me to have a look at it. It used to work, but now it's stopped working. So it appears to, it's not seized or anything, it just won't start, so I suspect it's got a dodgy carburettor that's now full of water. So we'll get this clamped on somewhere. Well, that's a nice bit of brass fitting work there. We'll get this clamped on somewhere and we'll see if we can get it going again. I've got high hopes for this one, to be honest, so it should be fairly decent. I think that's that throttle wants moving a bit. I don't think that's the right place for it. I think it's supposed to be up there. We'll have a look at that, see if the tank holds. It's missing a spark plug for starters, so that might explain why it wouldn't start. We'll give it a clean over, give it a service and see if we can get it running. Shouldn't be too difficult. 2 strokes, 1 to run, really, because they're just sucking in fuel, squashing it in, exploding it. It's not, you've got no timing or things like that to worry about. They just work. So I'll have to see how we go with that. I'm not sure if it's got any fuel in it. Seagull, so we'll do a bit of research on that. That might be the next one, or there might be a bike to do, don't know. Anyway, right, hope that's been useful. That was a look at my face for a bit. Oh, sort of. Anyway, hope that's been useful. Rebuilding a freewheel, it's not something you do every day, but I think we've saved that one. And keep tuned. Please like and subscribe. I need to pick up more subscribers, bottom line. And then the algorithm needs to kick in again. It started to kick in a few months ago, but we've tailed off with the summer lull. But we are getting more motors on now, so I hope to pick up the people that are after motors. I need to stick that back on there. As you can see, I'm trying to keep the workshop a little bit tidier. We'll see how we go. It's a little bit more cramped in here. I've got less room, but Alan Milliard does amazing things in something not much bigger than this, and he's got lathes and things in here, so I'm sure I can manage it. Anyway, right, job's a good one. Hope you enjoyed that.